Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On this edition of Rise Up Reidsville, I'm talking to Police Chief Robert Hassell. Hey, Chief, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
Well, it's always good to talk to you. We've got a lot of important information, as always, very timely today. Of course, it is the season for giving, and unfortunately, it's a time for taking. You've got some tips right up front here to avoid packages being stolen. So let's jump right in, Chief.
Yes, sir. You know, like you said, the holiday season is here. We've already experienced Black Friday, and many of our citizens and your listeners are now having packages delivered directly to their homes to prevent having to go out into the large shopping stores and retail outlets. So what we're seeing is package theft and all around the state. So I wanted to give a few tips on how to make sure that those gifts that you're ordering for loved ones and family members, and maybe even something for yourself, how to ensure you try to do whatever you can to prevent that.
Okay, so let's do it.
One of the first tips is have your packages delivered elsewhere, such as your place of employment, if allowed, an Amazon delivery site. Maybe they have like P.O. boxes, and some places even have like a P.O. box or drop location at some of your local stores here in town, here in Reidsville, or have them delivered to a relative that you know will be home to pick that package or to sign for it to pick it up. Tip number 2 on package deliveries is, maybe have the shipper require a signature. So that way, when your package is delivered to the location you want it delivered to, someone must sign for it. Now, of course, if you're not going to be home, then, of course, have it delivered somewhere where a person would be there to sign for that package. Tip number 3, subscribe to a delivery alert service. Most delivery companies, all the big shopping stores online now offer some kind of alert, like when the package was shipped, the package is on the way alert, and then when the package is actually delivered to your resident, you'll get an alert saying it's there. Then maybe you can swing by the house on your break time or have your neighbor go over to the house and pick the package up for you. Next, keep the area around your front porch clear and visible. Keep the shrubberies, trimmed back. You don't want to have anything blocking the view of where your packages will be sitting in the front of your house. So that way, as your neighbors are walking by, they can see if someone's on your front porch actually doing something they shouldn't be doing, and that is taking your gifts from your front porch. Request some kind of non-descriptive packaging. For example, you get your package delivered. Sometimes the package can't be disguised. It's going to show, well, it's a big screen television. I don't know how you would describe it. So change that description. But if it's something smaller, maybe not have what the item is on the outside packaging. So that way, if someone's looking at the package, they don't know exactly what is actually inside. Yeah. So those are just a few tips on trying to prevent yourself from having your packages stolen. Another last little tip there is, I've seen many of our citizens with doorbell cameras, whether it's Ring, you and I was talking earlier, Mike, maybe Blink cameras, whether it's August door cameras, some kind of camera system that will alert you if someone is on your front porch or in the area where you're keeping your packages. And that's also a good safety tip to making sure you know if there's anyone around your home. So some kind of camera system, and they are very inexpensive today. Ring doorbell, Blink, and all of them, they're not that expensive. So a few dollars here can be a preventative measure that will go a long way to help you prevent you from becoming a victim of a package being stolen from your property.
Sure, and we're seeing more and more stories on TV where thieves are caught using those doorbell cameras, aren't we?
Yes, sir, we are. Sometimes the thieves are people that we wouldn't have suspected would have been the perpetrator.
Yeah.
But they are catching many of these individuals who are doing crime at our homes.
Yeah. So you're right. Yeah, those don't cost that much, and what a good safety tool that is for sure. Okay, well, scams are with us all year round. but we have some people that come out of the woodwork at the holiday season. So you've got some scamming safety tips for us, Chief.
Yes, sir. Some of these have been around for years, but it's always worth, putting it back out there to our citizens to help them be aware of what's going on and prevent them from becoming a victim of one of these scams. One is fake charity. Sadly, many scammers will capitalize on the goodwill that flourishes, this time of year by asking you to make donations to a charity that does not actually exist. So we want our citizens to know, and our listeners, to please verify the authenticity of a charity that someone is asking you to donate to. Mm-hmm. And when in doubt, don't do it. But please reach out. There are so many charities here in Reidsville and Rockingham County that you can make that donation to. So please, if in doubt of the charity that someone's asking you to donate to, pick one that you know is authentic. Call them on the phone and ask what is the proper way to make that donation.
Mm-hmm. And you and I were talking before we started the program here, Chief. Yeah, you're right. There are the needs are even greater this year for families and children, and yeah, just search out those the ones that are real and help if you possibly can.
Totally, you're exactly right. Another one is these fake freebies. You see them sometimes on social media posting that, you got a new phone, completely free of charge. If you have to run the other way and don't look back, then that's what you possibly need to do. Because if it's free, there's something attached to it many times. That's what I was always told. Mm-hmm. Nothing's free. Yeah. So if you see these type scams, you're supposed to get something for free, but you having to give your personal information, your date of birth, your social security number, maybe even banking account information, then that should be a telltale sign that something could be wrong with this freebie that you're supposed to be getting. And we see that a lot. Mm-hmm. These defunct gift cards, many scammers will sell expired or empty gift cards this time of year. You're thinking you're getting a gift card for $100 on it, and you're paying half the price for a $100 gift card. Something doesn't sound right with that math to me. But so be very leery of these defunct gift card scams. Also checks. You'll get some kind of strange email or from someone you don't know. Many times these emails may look legitimate and maybe you thinking they're from someone in the States, but they're really the sender of these emails is someone from overseas. Mm-hmm. And they're saying they want to give you a certain amount of money, but you have to do something for them. And usually it's to take that check, deposit into your checking account, then you're having to go out and get gift cards or do other things to send the majority of that money back to the sender. Mm-hmm. And then they'll say, well, you can just keep a little bit, but then what happens after a few days when that check goes through the proper routing of the banking system, it's discovered that the check is either fraudulent or non-existent on a non-existent account. So now you're left with a huge negative, and now the authorities are looking at you because you're the one who deposited the check.
Yeah. And we've heard it all our lives, Chief. That sounds too good to be true. Well, it still applies, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
And we just need to, just think about what is actually being presented to you. And if it, like you said, if it sounds too good to be true, then likely it is not true. Mm-hmm. And you should have a second thought about that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Continuing on down the line, more tips.
We have another tip here on so we already kind of hit on phishing emails, mm-hmm. Bogus sites. You get lucky and find that perfect gift at a super low price. So low that you can't hardly believe it. But many times there is really no item. That price is set so low because to get your attention, and then they are having you to put in all your information, your banking information, just so they can get your money, and then you realize a few days before the date it was expected to be delivered that you're not going to get the gift. So be wary of those extremely low priced items online or mailings that you may get, because they could just be bogus sites and bogus gifts they're putting out in front of you. For example, it may be an item, let's say a certain toy, that is very popular, and it's hard to keep selling out at the stores, or all the traditional sites are always out of stock, and all of a sudden you see this other site who claims they have a lot of them, but the price is extremely low, lower than normal. That could be a possible scam, especially if it's a site that you're not, you don't frequently go to. So be careful of those deals that are extremely low, because those super low prices could just be a way to get your information, to get you to jump on it, thinking you're buying something, but you're really not.
Yeah. Please be alert, folks.
Please do. Next, I guess I would like to go maybe a little bit on some safety tips about COVID-19 and maybe an update on those if we could.
Please do. Yeah, I know we had record high numbers again yesterday here in the state.
Yes, sir, we have. And, I really want to remind our listeners of the 3 W's, wear a mask. We need to make sure that we do our part to protect ourselves, especially protecting others who are around us. Keep your distance, 6 feet or more when waiting in line at a store or at a takeout location. Please keep that distance from the person in front of you. And, of course, always remember to wash your hands as frequently as possible, for 20 seconds or more with warm water and soap. And if you can't wash your hands, please use some authorized or hand sanitizer to just, sanitize your hands before touching anything else. So remember those 3 W's. We have executive orders in place, the 180 more recently, and then we have another one that's getting ready to come out now. So I want to remind our citizens that, the governor's order has strengthened the mask mandate. Requiring us to wear one when they're outside, when you can't be socially distanced with someone. Yeah. In addition, a person must wear a mask in all indoor public settings where other individuals may be present, regardless of one's perceived ability to maintain physical distance of at least 6 feet. So if you're in a public building, you're supposed to have on a mask, period. Yeah. And we're asking citizens for voluntary compliance to that, to our executive orders that are in place here in North Carolina, to do their part, wear a mask when in public buildings, and wear a mask when outside, and you cannot socially distance.
Okay. Yeah, challenging year for sure. And, we're talking a lot, and thank you for that, Chief. We're talking here in our safety tips about really kind of directed to a lot of people ordering things online, and more people are doing that, of course, but it's been a difficult year for local businesses and all of our shops here around the area. Whenever we can, we certainly want safely doing all the things we should do, with the guidelines, but when we can support our local businesses, for sure, with our Christmas shopping at any time, let's try to do that too, but within the guidelines, of course.
Exactly. Mike, always, me personally, I shop local. Anytime I can get an item locally, I prefer to do that. Let's spend our money here in our local community with our local store owners and shops. So you're right. You can prevent many of these scams and that's out there online by just going to one of our local retail stores or shops downtown or in our city, in the county, and shop local. Go there in person, of course, abiding by, the mask requirements, but shop local, and you can get a good quality item here in your own hometown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very well said. Okay. Well, we're right at our time. Anything else, Chief, before we wrap it up?
No, sir. I'm just really imploring all of our listeners to just please do your part and wear a mask. With these executive orders, it puts our department in a situation where, we see individuals violating the mask order, and we're going to have to respond. So we're asking our citizens and listeners, please just abide by the mask order, wear a mask, keep your distance from someone that's in front of you if you're waiting in line or something. Just do your part. Please don't put myself or my officers in a situation of having to confront someone maybe not wearing a mask. I'm imploring everyone to please just voluntarily just follow the order.
Mm-hmm. Okay, do the right thing.
Exactly.
Chief, always good to talk to you. You're